Welcome back to the channel and to another WNBA video. We only got one game to dive into for Tuesday, August 27th, so we'll get into it, man. We'll break it down and analyze it. We'll talk about which way that I'm leaning as far as the points on the spread. We'll also talk about any player props in that game that I like, and then any picks that I put in officially myself, I am going to list down below in that pinned comment, so make sure you check back in. That way you can see if you'd like to ride along with me. And normally right about now, we would recap our picks from the night before, but not even going to hold you guys, man. It's about 9:55 right now. Man, I was outside working all day in some crazy heat. I'm a little exhausted, man. I don't think I'm going to make it until the end of these 10 o'clock games, and then to get back down here to record this video. So I'm going to get it out to you guys now. As of now, we are 1-1 to start the night. The Dream do not cover in the first quarter, and Ryan Howard does end up cashing. She had a horrible night shooting, not going to lie, man, but she does finish 4 of 10 from downtown, so we do cash on her over 2.5 3-pointers. But like I said, we do got two more picks, one on the Liberty game and then one with the Storm coming on. Well, they both come on at 10. So we will recap those picks along with the picks for today's video in our video for Wednesday. So without any further ado, man, let's dive into this game. But before we do, see that like button down there, man? Make sure you smash that for me one time and hit subscribe if you have not already. That way you don't miss out on any of the content that we are dropping here daily. Now let's get into it, guys. We got the Aces taking on the Wings. The Aces are coming in as 8-point favorites. We have an over-under sitting at 176.5. So both are coming in with equal rest, having one day off in between games, and both also won in their last time out. The Aces won in Chicago on an Asia Wilson driving layup at the buzzer. Now, as great as that was, man, that was a really fun game to watch. Vegas had this game locked up, and honestly, they shouldn't have been in this situation to begin with, right? They had gone into the fourth up 3. They stretched that lead out to 13 with about 4.5 minutes to play. They led by 6 with under a minute to play before giving up back-to-back threes to Kennedy Carter of Chicago. She tied the game with a second left. Man, she is a dog, right? You got to give it to her. Man, she is clutch. Like I said, she ties the game up with a second left, setting up Asia's heroics, right? The Wings, and they needed a huge, and I mean huge, fourth quarter to complete their come-from-behind victory in their last time out over the Sparks. LA held a 19-point lead heading into the fourth quarter. They were up 10 with 2 minutes to play, but a 40-point quarter from the Wings. 40 points, that's right, in which the Sparks could only put up 18 points themselves. That was just enough for Dallas to squeak out a 3-point win. So the Aces are on the road here for a third straight time. They'll return home after this with the Wings on a second game of a 5-game homestand. So look, while the Aces have struggled on and off over the year, no one has struggled like Dallas, right? Injuries derailed them early. Horrid defense has kept them off track for the entirety of the season. The Wings are 1-3 straight up and to the number over their last 4 since returning from the break. The Aces are just 2-3 since the break and have not covered now in 8 straight games. All right, so look, man. I feel crazy saying this because I feel like I just keep going. The Aces are going to get it together here. Or, then they come out flat, right? And then a few games go by and I'm like, okay, look, this is where the Aces are going to turn it on. But, then they come out flat again, right? So, man, it's just one of them situations where, after that huge win over Chicago and now with the lowly Wings on deck, can we trust the Aces to do enough to cover this 8-point line? Now, that's where it gets tricky because I fully expect them to win this game, man. I do. And you would think they are due for a cover, and who better than against Dallas and this defense that couldn't cover a wall with paint, But yeah, man, I don't know if I get there. I've been burnt so many times now with this Vegas team this year. And I don't like betting because we're due for something, you know what I mean? Then the trends show that, they haven't covered in 8 straight, so why would we bet because they're due to cover, you know what I mean? So this is tricky for me. It really is because this is the best offense, or one of the best offenses in the W, taking on a Dallas Wings defense that they should be able to have their way with, but we have seen the Aces just come out flat time after time. But in the Aces, we have the highest scoring team in the W. They're taking on a Wings team, scoring a middle-of-the-pack 6th most while giving up a league-high 90 points per game. They give up the highest overall shooting percentage and the most made field goals per game, and the 4th highest shooting percentage from deep. Vegas is hitting the 3 at the 3rd highest shooting percentage, and they're shooting 1st overall from the field. For what it's worth, the Wings are second in offensive rebounds. They're leading the W in second chance points. They're third in points scored from the paint. But the Aces are giving up the fourth fewest points in the paint. And while middle of the pack at 6 in terms of second chance points, they give up the second fewest offensive boards and the fewest made shots from the restricted area, while holding opponents to 59% shooting from there as well. And now, look, the Aces haven't been elite on the defensive end by any means, and this is where they've struggled this year the most, giving up just under 83 points per game. That's only 7th overall. They're allowing the 6th highest field goal percentage and 2nd highest three-point shooting percentage, but Dallas really hasn't shot the ball well from deep on the year. They've only hit the 8th most shots there at just 32%. That's only 7th overall. So I'm going to lean Vegas here and probably against my better judgment, man. Like at this point, am I just a glutton for punishment? Because, yeah, I mean, how many times does Vegas need to bite me before I give up on them? And, speaking of that, after missing on yet another Vegas bet just the other day when we took them in the first half to cover 3.5, and they win that first half by 2 points, man, I told myself they were on the no bet list to close out the year. But fading them and their offense that we know can light it up when they're playing together against this Dallas defense, by far the worst defense in the W, that almost feels riskier, man. And speaking of playing together, look, I'm just gonna say it right now. I gotta question Coach Hammond right now because this offense is like it's non-existent as far as like running as a unit is concerned. You know what I mean? Each time down the floor is just a new one-on-one session. It's like isolation time for the Aces. Whether it's Asia, Plum, Jackie Young, Tiffany Harris, over and over and over again when I was watching that game on Sunday against the Sky. I just watched them try to go one-on-one over and over again with zero ball movement. It was like whoever touched the ball, man, first after they got across half court. It's like whoever sees the ball first, they got the green light, and everyone else just kind of stands off to the side and watches, To put it in perspective just a little further, Asia shot the ball 20 times in the first half alone, with Plum the next closest in shot attempts with only 8. So just simply better ball movement could do wonders for this team. I'm going to give them one last damn chance to show me they're worth putting my money where my mouth is and hope they don't make me look like a damn fool again, right? So we'll see, man. I'm going to lean Aces with this one. Then for the total, it's a high number, but I mean, it's the worst defense in the W, right? Taking on, like we've said, when they are playing as a unit, one of the best offenses in the W. The Aces are the highest scoring offense, and we also mentioned how they are just middle of the pack defensively. So I could see both teams getting up a ton of points in this one. And the two prior meetings between these two, Vegas won by double digits each time, and we landed over this number once. We landed under this number once, but the one under landed right on the hook at 176. So give me the over in this one. Also, guys, if you've made it this far, go ahead and comment 8 down there. We are 8 minutes into the video, man. Make sure you comment 8 down there, guys. Let me know that you have rocked this far into the video. Now, let's look at some player props for this one. Looking at Asia Wilson in this one, her points over 26.5. Now, if we look at her, in 5 of her last 6 versus bottom 5 defenses for points allowed, she's averaging actually 28.5. She's hitting at an 83% rate in those 6 games, right? 5 out of 6. If we look at her in her last 5, not as good, right? A lot of red there. But let's look at who she's playing, man. Chicago with those Twin Towers, Cardoso and Angel Reese. We talked about how, when I was discussing the total of this game, how I thought those two would be able to frustrate her a little bit. And they did, man. Minnesota. Elite defense right here. New York Liberty, also a very good defense. And then when she did go over, playing against the Sparks, not so hot of a defense. And then if we look over here at Dallas, man, on the year against centers, they are only 10th in points allowed. Overall, 12th, dead last. And before we dive any further, man, make sure you guys check out in the description. We got a link that you can click into for our NFL Survivor Pool, man. $10 to enter, you get up to 5 entries maximum for a chance to win up to $2,700, man. And each week you just pick who you think has the best chance to win week to week. If your team wins, you move on to the next round. If they don't, you are knocked out. You did not survive. And the kicker is each week, whoever you take, they're locked in for that week, man. You cannot take them moving forward. So that's what makes it fun, man. If you take a certain team in week 1, that's the only time you can take them. Not going to be able to take them again moving forward. So like I said, make sure you get down in that description, click into that link, make sure you sign up for that one, man. And another one I'm looking at is going to be Natasha Howard, her rebounds over 7.5. Now, guys, this is Outlier. Make sure you hop down in that description. We got a link for this as well, man. You can get a free 7-day trial if you hit that link for Outlier. You can try it out, man. See what you think for yourself, man. I bet by the end of those 7 days, though, you're going to want to keep this around. It is a great and fantastic tool. But like I said, man, looking at Natasha Howard, her rebounds over 7.5. Now, in her last 5, she's hit this at a 60% rate. She's landing right on the hook, though, in these 2 that she has not hit. And then looking at her head-to-head against Vegas, she has cleared this number in what's that? 6 of her last 8 at a 75% rate. Look at Vegas, man, against forwards for rebounds on the year. They are dead last in terms of rebounds allowed. Guys, that's just about going to wrap it up. But before we get out of here, I did want to say real quick, man, thank you guys. For real, thank you. I've been making videos on the channel now for I feel like a little over a month. It's been phenomenal, man. This community is awesome. It is awesome. I went from making videos on my channel, the Let 'Em Ride channel, for about a month before Ev hit me up to hop on here with them. Man, I went from a little over 300 subscribers, getting under 1,000 views, and I had a grand time. Don't get me wrong, but just the amount of views that I've seen here, the amount of engagement, how much more on a daily basis it's just been humbling for one. It's wild to me that I make these videos talking about basketball, the sport that I've loved my entire life, and thousands of people tune in each day to check it out. Like, it is awesome. It's such a great feeling. And you're gonna have your haters down there here and there in the comments, but the majority of you guys are just, like I said, it's humbling, man. It's really awesome. It's such a great community. And with that said, man, even the haters, I love y'all too. I really do. You guys light a fire under me when I have those 0-5 nights like I had a couple nights ago. So yeah, just a quick thank you. Just really, guys, I love being here. I love making these videos. And I love the interaction that we have daily. It's great. It really is. I don't know what else to say. It's kind of got me a little speechless. But yeah, just wanted to throw that out there. And like I said, that's gonna wrap it up, man. Only one game on the slate today. Um, you know, Before we leave, I do want to complain just a little bit about that because I did just mention that, man, the other day talking about the WNBA and their horrible schedule making. So we got one game right on the slate for Tuesday. We have 5 on the slate for Wednesday, the middle of the week, a 5-game slate. I don't know. I can't call it, man. 1 today, 5 tomorrow. Split it up. I don't know. But anyways, man, that's going to do it here. Hope you guys enjoyed the content. If you did, please do not forget to smash that like button down below. And if you have not subscribed already, man, make sure you do. That way you don't miss out on any of the content that we are dropping here daily. That's going to do it, man. Hope we have a great day. Best of luck to everybody out there. I'll see you on the next video.